Oh yes, legends. Much love to everybody. Let's analyze the situation. Or the price of Bitcoin. Let's go, let's go. Much love to everybody. Smash up that like button if you do enjoy the content and the technical analysis. Let's go, legends. Much love. Let's analyze the situation here for the price of Bitcoin. Is it bearish? Is it bullish? Do we get a bigger bounce? Do we take out the lows at 76k? We're actually at a very interesting zone at the moment, which can be treated as a shorting zone, really, based on the information that we have here locally from the last couple of days. Interesting for shorts, that is for sure, right? Let's go through the comment section, say hello to the wonderful community. First of all, guys, I got a lot of information that I want to talk about today, mainly technical analysis, Elliot waves, levels. I really like the zone where we are at the moment. What is disturbing, though, is this movement to the downside that we had just in the last few hours. Let me just change this. Right. Move down, quick move up here. Most bullish case scenario is developing multiple 1-2s, I have to say. 1-2, 1-2, 1-2, right? Bang, wave 3. That's getting a little bit over bullish on the higher time frame. It is true that it does look like, you know, we could form another lower high in this region and take out the lows. I do like that idea. We're going to go through the levels, the scenarios, so make sure to stay tuned, guys. Eager here. I'm, you know, thinking that this is a possible good entry short. I mean, without a doubt, this choppiness, the double triple top scenario for shorts, is where you want to get in, where to manage risk very, very well. We talked about this on a video update inside of the trading community yesterday. Also, we talked about a long trade in the trading community yesterday. There was higher probability that we could have taken out the highs at 77.4, and we did manage to profit from this momentum to the upside inside of the trading community. Was pretty clear on that. Then I wanted to enter a trade, giving the updates as well yesterday, as just to manage the position was still in stop loss, and anybody that's inside the trading community does know about that. This was the main trading setup from yesterday. We talked about a trading plan which was looking for a long stop loss at 76k, which was almost hit yesterday. We hit the 0.9088 Fibonacci from the low to the high, and there was a, you know, risk 1%. If we do manage to get dip below 76.4, we form an SFP, reclaim the level. We can add another 1 to 2% to make that position bigger, right? Stop loss is at the low to claim 77.4, right? And now we're literally in this zone over here. I did mention that I did enter the trade. Okay, I have taken the long position, and obviously just informing the trading community about the situation about this trade, taken significant profits over 50% and leaving a runner, and actually just quickly got into a day trade short that, you know, can turn into a swing trade as well, because this scenario about getting this choppiness after this leg to the upside, you know, there is a possibility of a sideways WXY here and then move down to get below 76k. And it is true that today we do have the FOMC minutes. That's in about 3 hours from now, shy from that, 2 hours and 48 minutes, where we would have the FOMC minutes. Some people were saying I'm not longing before the FOMC minutes. Yesterday I was pretty confident that there was higher probability in taking out 77.4, just a little move up, guys, you know, not more than $1,000, of course. But this is what we have, right? We are day traders. If we can take advantage of a mini range, understanding the probabilities, we will take advantage. Now, this has a good chance of being corrective. It has a good chance of being corrective, meaning that we would want that one more impulse down to get below 76k. And I have to say, I'm incredibly interested in looking for longs between 76 and 75k. It's just about how do we get down there, how powerful it is. Naturally, I do believe that this is an acceptable zone to look for a short. I did a nice little video update inside of the trading community. I'm just walking you through because despite not going live yesterday, providing a video update explaining why a massive dump is not ready yet on the price of Bitcoin and looking for a range and a bounce is more likely, then I just wanted to explain that from the community, right? Because I do go through the different scenarios in the trading community, and I want to obviously explain that to you guys as well on yesterday's video, talking about the possibility here of moving to the upside, getting above 77.4k, right? And looking for that exhaustion, which is ready to look for a short position. So yeah, maybe some of the legends are attempting a short position in this exhaustion, as explained yesterday, to get that rally, which is acceptable. This does have a chance to be the top and go lower. Most bullish case, you want to manage risk here like a beast. I wouldn't want the price to take out this high again, because if it does, I would consider a double top from this lower high. It still has a chance of not being in, but only if we SFP from this high, right? That's where I would consider an execution for a short that has the possibility of riding all the way down below 76k. So let's see if that does come to fruition on the stream. We're getting a bit of pumpy action at the moment. Let's see if we do claim that lower high right there, and if it explodes out, there's nothing to do. We are pumping at the moment. Quick tap into the level. Let's see if we do get an SFP here, because if we do, I would be happy to enter a quick little scalp trade. Currently trading above that level. There's no time here for analysis. We are coming into important levels on the stream. So yeah, we're currently breaking that level at the moment. Trying to break it anyway. This is going to be a little bit challenging. Because I would say it's a valid quick SFP from that high. But it's looking a little bit strong. Yeah, it would be an instant protect position or maintain stop above that high. It can definitely SFP from that pivot. We do have the value area low from this zone that hasn't been tapped. Or yeah, just barely been tapped right there. Value area low of this range. Yeah, if not a quick exit right there. We remember, trading is all about protecting your capital as well, right? But if this is the kind of trade that you don't need to risk too much, because this can bring you a huge risk to reward, right? We like to say we like to risk 1% or 2% max, right? Really 3% max, okay, if you're feeling aggressive and very confident. Well, that's looking for a 3-to-1 risk to reward, right? 3-to-1 risk to reward is realistic, right? For a 1-2% risk. But when you are looking for an SFP that has the potential of being the last high, okay, before you go lower, you don't need to risk 1 to 2%. You can risk 0.5%, even 0.3%, because the risk to reward in these kind of trades, which I do love, they give you the best risk to rewards ever, is getting an SFP from here. And this has a possibility of coming straight back down to $76,000. It definitely has the possibility. So, you know, when we talk about 2, 3 to 1 risk to rewards, which naturally are, you know, look something like this, right? Or like this, these kind of trades that, you know, 1.5 to 3 risk to reward, which are not that great, then we can be a little bit more aggressive, right? Where you have maybe a wider stop loss and risk 1%. But for these kind of SFPs, holy smokes, you know, you don't need to risk 1%. I mean, if you do, you know, you can gain, you know, 6-7%, right? Which would be incredible based on rewards on a setup. However, you know, when you want to maintain that good risk management, okay, based on these risky wicks, risk of breaking out in a wave 3, right, and managing your position, hey, risking 0.5, half, or even less than half of what you risk is still going to bring you, you know, 3% profit from your account. So these ones that are SFPs and they're a little bit risky based on a breakout, right? It might be just attempting a breakout and it turns out to be a wave 3, right? 1, 2, 1, 2, 1, 2, bang, and it just explodes out and goes to 78, 79K. You don't want to be caught in a short, right? You don't want to be caught underwater, you know, holding a nasty position, right? I've been there many times in the past, and I don't want any of you guys being there, right? So just a little risk management tip here based on, you know, these aggressive, right, sniper trades, which, you know, they are aggressive without a doubt, right? They are definitely very, very aggressive. So anyway, let's go through. Yeah, you know, I would say, you know, your stop loss is so small. If anybody caught that SFP, you know, just be aware that you can get stopped out naturally. But, you know, this is where you manage risk like a beast, right? You don't need to go too crazy on these kind of trade setups. So, yeah, let's go quickly. I was going to say I'm going to go quickly through the comment section, but we're getting a bit of action here as we are on the stream. So if we do have a valid setup on stream, we will make everything wait, right? And, you know, go focus on the possible short. You know, the thing that I'm concerned about here is not having a, you know, it would have been nice to finish this high right there. The fact that we had this pullback, very aggressive pullback, just a few hours ago, is you know, I cannot have something finished with this high over here, because it would have been nice to get an ABC here. And that's it. The fact that we've retraced so much and now we're pushing up here to the upside, you know, I don't have a solid 5-wave move. You know, it would have to be a double 1-2, which naturally brings the risk of breaking out in a wave 3, right? That's what I'm a little bit concerned right now. I would have loved for this, you know, wick to be the high, you know, get that pullback, find for a lower high, and then start breaking down, right? However, that is not the case, right? We've taken out that high. So there is a bit of a problem right now based on this pullback, because having a few more 4-5s here is completely fine, but not as deep as this pullback, which is making me aware that we definitely could go to higher levels based on this pullback. Because this is not a 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5. Because, you know, it would have to be an expanding diagonal. Expanding diagonals are rare. You know, you never want to speculate on an expanding diagonal with the highest probability, because it is rare. I mean, that would be for an ABC finishing in an expanding diagonal, which is not the best scenario. You know, you never want to, you know, speculate with high probability. You can speculate about it, but, and with that said, the expanding diagonal, you would have to get wave 3 here from these lows. That's your wave 2, that's your wave 3 high right there. And, you know, expanding diagonals need to be longer. than your wave 3, which is getting above 78.1k. So we would have to still get a massive push to the upside here for this to be an expanding diagonal to speculate on an ABC. You know, expanding diagonals, they are not common at all, right? They are not common at all. So yeah, we'll break down a few more things. You know, I have to say this is still valid for an SFP. The higher you get into the SFP, the better, right? It could end up in a massive rejection. The importance of these kind of setups is the management, right? The trade and risk management. This is the beauty about these kind of SFPs, where your stop loss can be extremely small and the rewards can be very, very good, right, in the coming hours. Anyway, that's that locally right now. Regardless if we dump down or we get another rally here in the next coming minutes, we'll go through the price action now in the coming minutes, guys. I just want to say hello because we've just been so focused right now on this little bit of volatility taking out that high. Let's go right away through the comment section. Before I go through the comment section, I want to give that disclaimer, of course, okay? And we'll break down the charts and see what are the scenarios. The content is for educational purposes only and is not financial advice. The information provided is not guaranteed to be accurate or complete. Always conduct your own research before making any financial decision. None of my videos, live streams, right, are financial advice or devils, right? We are just educators. We just share our trades, our analysis. And said that, let's go through the comment section. Beth Maria Vallejos, ¿cómo estás? Vámonos. Much love. Vamos. Vámonos, Devils. What's up, legends? Waiting for the alpha like tapped. Daniel, smash the like button. He says, afternoon all. Karim, how are you doing? What we saying? Little pumpy fake out before the drop. I mean, yeah, it looks good. Looks good. We're going to discuss that right now for sure. Great analysis. Andy and Devil played out to the T. Thank you very much. I assume you were talking about the trading community. You know, it was in the red. It was in the profit. It was one of those trades that, you know, I was happy to get stopped out and look for a long position. I would have talked about that stop loss today, but it ended up being a profitable trade. And that's what matters, right, at the end of the day, regardless of the risk to reward. The risk to reward wasn't that massive, but it was very valid, right, for the high probability of taking out this high over here, which can be explained on today's stream as well, right? It's all about educating and understanding the directional bias that we have. And because we are good at it, such as myself and Devil, you know, and we actually trade it, we love to explain it, right? You know, the long scenario that was mentioned yesterday in this point, giving the option that if we take out this low, we can add to the position if we get a reaction to take out this high. There's no sugarcoating, guys. This is written on stone inside of the community, right? The projection, the plan, it's all written here, and we don't make things up, okay? Basically speculating on an A wave or a wave 1 to then look for a 2 or a B, and watch out, we can take out that low to form a 3-wave structure. This would be the plan. You know, if you want to enter now, 1% is valid. If we get a reaction at the lows at 76.4, I didn't add, you know, I didn't add to the position, but the option was there. The plan was there. So yeah, if you want to join the trading community, that's where we provide our setups and the analysis. Okay, we just share what we are doing and how we read the market. There's going to be people that disagree. There's going to be people that agree, but we just show the results. We show the trades. And, you know, I can show a track record and everything's a-okay, right? If you want to join trading community, make sure to send me the word access, guys. That's where we are busy, right? We are busy there. We are traders. We look for opportunities. And if we're not on YouTube, of course, we'll be there more consistently on the lower time frames. A Trader, take a second and go smash up the like button. Absolute legend. Much love to you, A Trader. Thanks for joining. Nico Soper here as well. Shout out to Nico being here for quite some time. And shout out to Mark Dutch. Sup fib dancers, he says. No more mustachio. Yeah, I had a bit of a shave and a bit of a haircut. I was looking a bit scruffy, my man. It was about time. It was about time. Andy, hope you're well, man. Thanks so much for that setup in the community. Yesterday, I added to the trade and I got a position now, a good position now. Wayne, absolute legend. Great, great. Make sure to collect the profits. We are at a point where, you know, it's good to maintain some of that position. I've still got a significant chunk. I closed most of the trade in the day trading account. You know, I got a day trading account to look for scalp opportunities, of course, and the swing trading account. And I did take it as a bit of a swing as well to say, what if, you know, a lot of people became bearish. We already seen those bearish thumbnails throughout the crypto tube. And I'm like, you know what? It would be so good. It would be so damn good that, you know, with FOMC, I think people expecting a bearish drop, right? Let me know, what do you expect? I'm gonna create that poll right away because I think it's important to know here. Let me just create that poll right away here. Hang on a minute. Okay, yeah, everything is good. FOMC. Post FOMC. Dump, pump, or nothing burger, guys, right? Nothing burger. Let's put that. Let me know in the on the poll right now, guys. I'd love to know your opinion. But there was, you know, the bearishness was incredible. This is an extremely tiny pump, right? We can't get too excited of this. You know, there is the chance of rolling over very soon from here. We got some resistance that we're going to talk about here on the stream. We're already creating that little SFP from the lower high that we formed 2 days ago. You know, it could definitely be a little choppy correction, and you know, then we're going to start rolling over very aggressively, right? This movement down was pretty aggressive. It could continue down. The overall question, you know, like I mentioned, you know, the main reason I'm more interested in a local bounce here is because, you know, this is the moment where you've had a pretty big move down, right, of a few $1,000s, give or take, you know, $5,000 in the last week. Now it's how much lower can you go, right? How much lower can you go? Do you create one more 4-5, right? Or is your last 4-5 in already? And this turns out to be a corrective 3-wave structure. The fact that you don't know if you're going to create another 4-5 because of the 1-2s that you have here, it doesn't matter, right? You're really looking for a reversal bounce. And I know that the strongest support level is, well, the most attractive one anyway. The most attractive support level, which we've been talking about throughout the last few days, is the Valley area high, which, you know, technically has been tapped. Valley area high of this region just gently tapped. Anchored VWAP, which was not hit from the 65k higher low. I mean, we have two here. Anchored VWAPs, the one from the low, which is pretty, you know, it's at 71k. But then the last higher low before this rally, sitting at 75.2, right, where we have that low here. You know, that's a very, 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 very good SFP reaction zone to get a bounce. But what if we don't get there, right? You know, we don't need to go down to the support. So this is why we focus on the lower time frames in the trading community, right? We really, really focus on the lower time frames to say, you know, we have a 5-wave structure. This was explained on YouTube, by the way, on Monday. On Monday, we did say, you know, maybe this is a wave 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and then your wave 5 finishes down here. The moment you get a potential impulse to the upside, which we had very much in this momentum, this is high probability a 5-wave move. The danger was having a running flat here, right? Running flat, but running flats are rare. So we like, you know, maybe it's not a, you know, a running flat for a sideways WXY, and then we go lower, right? So we're considering this as a wave 1 or a wave A, right? This was explained on Monday. If we get a rally here, I'm going to be looking for longs on the correction. And this is basically what we did yesterday in the trading community, right? So we had that, you know, I was waiting patiently. I didn't long here. I didn't long down here. I didn't long here. I didn't short here. I didn't do anything. I wanted to wait for the clear 5-wave move up, understand the bearish options, but understand the bullish ones. With the price action yesterday, I was aware of forming a sideways WXY here. You might form a higher low, right? And then move up. You might claim the low, which would be ideal, right? A wave, sideways WXY for B wave, right? And a C wave down. After getting, you know, the option of getting into a long here, adding to the long or getting into a new long was very, very much an opportunity, in my opinion, which we did share yesterday. Considering that we retraced so much, but I know the price of Bitcoin is cheeky, right? It likes to miss, and especially throughout the last few months, I've seen so many lows and highs not being hit and get so close to them and reverse, right? $1,000 or $2,000. So the fact, you know, this is the scary point, right? This is the scary point. It's like, oh man, it's going to take the low. It's going to take the low. And it ends up not taking the low, right? If you have a plan and you're confident about the plan, you know, you know, my trade was in the negative. You know, I was saying I'm not moving to break even. I'm not taking the loss. I have my stop loss where it needs to be. If this wants to be an A, B, C, or a 1, 2, 1, 2, 1, 2, bang, right? We explode out. I'm ready to take the loss. And I know I have a chance here on this trade for that wave 1, 5-wave move to the upside, wave 1 or wave A, 3-wave correction in a wave 2 or a wave B. This has a bit of higher probability of being a B wave because a wave 2, you know, doesn't usually retrace to the 0.88 Fibonacci, and it is rare. It's more common for a wave B than a wave 2. So I understand that all of this can be corrective, and we are looking for a rollover, right? Maybe throughout the FOMC meeting, all right, if we do see some bad news coming in. But the idea was to take out the high. And what's interesting about this is this movement here, right? This movement from 77.4K, this price action right over here, after getting this push to the upside, is, you know, extreme high probability corrective. Move down, move up, move down. When you get this rally to start getting to these lower highs, you know, you don't have an impulse here. This is like, you know, 3 wavy. You know, it's just very, matter of fact, it's an A wave, you know, sideways WXY or a triangle, whatever. And then the push down. When you get this pump, this happened yesterday evening. This ride over here is an indication that there is a very good chance to take out this high over here. Because from this high to this low, this, after this move, is likely corrective. And what's interesting about this is, what do you have with this movement? We're always looking for a 5-wave move. And this is what you have here. I mean, this is like, this is the best for, you know, this is what we are looking for. We are looking for these kind of ranges to have a high probability setup. And, you know, matter of fact, after that 3-wave move down, what do you get? Zooming in, a 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 move to the upside. Right over here. Tackling those lower highs. Yes, this could have been a 1, 2, 1, 2. However, does it have high probability? No. Why? Because you need to count a 5-wave move to the downside from this price action. Can you? I can't. Move down, extreme rangy structure, sideways, WXY, whatever, and then the push down. So once you get this leg to tackle these lower highs in an impulse, you know that this is extreme high probability corrective, and this is just a flag, right? It's just choppy, rangy structure. Fast move up, staircase down. Good chance to push up here and take out that 77.4, right? So just giving a little bit of an explanation here with the drawings about, you know, how to read the zone, right? And understanding that throughout this price action that we had yesterday, I was confident still in saying, you know, we were likely going to take out 77.4. There was a bearish option, which is a sideways WXY, where you have a running flat here in a wave W. You have a zigzag down in a wave X, and then a zigzag up, which is still valid, I have to say. It had the potential of not taking out the lower highs, but overall getting that choppiness. That's what you want to see. It's getting confusing here. But this could be a zigzag in a Y wave. So you can have a zigzag in your wave Y, you know, almost taking out the lows of part of wave W. That's fine. You cannot take the lows of wave W in a double zigzag, but in a sideways WXY you can. We didn't take out the low anyway here on wave X, but this is the bearish option. However, the bearish option right now, you want a 3-wave move to finish an ABC, because in a zigzag you want an A, right? 5-wave move up in A, corrective structure in B. It can be whatever. It can be a triangle. It could be a sideways WXY. It's just choppy and confusing. And then your C wave, which, you know, we can count a nice little impulse here to the upside. But this is a problem right now, taking out the highs. You know, can I count a solid 5-wave move up with this correction? Unless your wave X finishes in this zone in a more complex, because a wave X can be a sideways WXY on its own. So instead of finishing here, you know, it finished here, and here you have the this is maybe getting a bit too confusing, guys, I'm sorry, but I just feel I can go quicker with the drawing. And this is the zigzag right there, right? So instead of finishing here and the zigzag starts from here, maybe X finished here, and this is the zigzag here. So, you know, you would say, okay, you know, attempting shorts up here is not a bad idea. Let's just keep it that way. And if you have a little liquidity grab from a major lower high, why not attempt it, right? You know, very much in favor. We just started the stream and we got that SFP. You know, this is a valid entry in my opinion, just because it's an SFP and we have the possibility of this being a sideways WXY. The confusing part is, oh, well, if this is not the zigzag because we corrected and took the high again, you know, maybe you do have your wave X finishing in this zone where you have a, you know, we're not going to go in detail, but I'm sure you can find a sideways WXY here for your wave X to finish right there. There's just a lot of information. And, you know, finishing in another triangle right there. 3-wave down. Yeah, you could be something here. Triangle here, A, B, C, D, E. I'm not going to go through the detail right now, but I'm sure you could finish your wave X right there, counting from this high to this sideways zone. Just a long sideways WXY that, to finish X. Anyway, it's just a possibility to have the zigzag here, and that was it, right? Just a quick zigzag to then nuke. But shorts are looking attractive. We know how to execute them. We know how to manage risk. In the trading community on a video update yesterday, you know, we talked about the possibility of moving up in a wave 3 and getting the choppiness in this zone. You know, you need to be defensive, small stop losses. If this turns out to be the high, you know, if you get stopped out once and try another second attempt, or stopped out at break even, you can even have more attempts. The risk to reward is going to be nice. The risk to reward is, you know, say that you attempted you know, this local double top a few hours ago, right? You moved down, you need to be defensive. If you're going to take out that high, you understand that you're looking for another local triple top, right? And you have this high over here from Monday. A valid attempt, right? You're moving down, you're in a 2-to-1 risk to reward at the moment. You know, protect your position, right? You're in the trade. It could be a free trade and it could be a massive trade risk to reward, right? You don't need to hold to the position, add to the position, and none of that. Have a massive stop loss. Don't do that, because if the price does end up breaking out, you're going to be underwater. You're going to lose 5-10% of your account. You're going to take a massive hit, which is going to take a bit of time to recover, and you know, you're going to take bad decisions. We don't trade like that, because we understand that it's dangerous, right? You end up losing, right? You know, a lot of money at the end of the day. So we're very, very good with our risk. Hey, boom, that's the entry, that's the stop loss. You're making a 2-to-1 risk to reward. Hey, you know, cut your losses a little bit, break even or a slight loss. If it's going to get it back up there, you know, it's probably going to break out, or it's going to take out the high. Protect the position, have it as a minor loss, and run a free trade that has the potential of going down to 76k. You know, making a 6, 7, 8-to-1, whatever, depending on your entry, risk to reward, and protect position. Don't worry if it gets stopped out at break even or at a minor loss. It's okay. There will be other opportunities. There's other levels, right? It's another day. Okay, just make, you know, because I know trading is very difficult. It does take, it took me a few years to get to be consistently profitable, and still, you know, obviously still getting stopped out. But the most important thing is cut your losses. And it's just something that you learn with time, right? So anyway, what do you think about the post FOMC? I don't know why I say FOMC, because it's not FOMC, it's FOMC. Dump after FOMC, 47%, 48%. We got over 100 votes. While you vote, you can smash up the like button, right? Do a double click there. Nobody's going to say anything.
We got over
you can do that. 100 votes, 62 likes. Hey, come on. Why not vote and click the like button at the same time, you lazy buggers? Much love to everybody. Much respect. 47% dump after FOMC. Pump, 34%. If people are feeling, some people are feeling bullish. Some people are feeling bullish. A lot of people were, I did have a lot of comments on the previous stream on Monday. I'm not longing, you know, before the FOMC, because it's much more bearish sentiment with FOMC today throughout the beginning of the week. Nothing burger, 20%. I have that feeling as well. Maybe a little bit of local volatility, but yeah, nobody knows at the end of the day, right? Andy took profits on his mustache. Mark Dutch, much love, my man. I did. Had to have a shave. FOMC that. FOMC is next month. What do you mean? Have I got this wrong? Yeah, 20. No, well, we got FOMC minutes, right? FOMC minutes is today. Minutes, okay? FOMC minutes. I had to put minutes there on the poll. My bad. Where's the liquidity sitting? I have to say that there is still a lot of liquidity, naturally below 76k. Hundreds of millions of long liquidations. So, I mean, that's interesting. However, above 82.8k, right, there is a lot. Above 82k, basically, there's a lot of short liquidations. So, more locally, we are closer to 76k, naturally, right? 76 to 75k. The liquidity is closer south than north. And we do have the possibilities of having a corrective structure being developed since the low formed on Monday. We have the possibility of forming a corrective move here. And that all has to do with the potential of forming another 4-5. Okay, that would be, even locally, I would like to say that you know, I would like, we talked about this yesterday, I would like to say that the movement down would be finished. So I would want to consider this wave finished from $82,000. This was on Thursday, the 14th of May, down to 76K. This would be still valid for a wave, another wave 4. There's no invalidation, but instead of finishing as explained on Monday, you know, this could be the end, right, of this being an impulse. Could this be a sideways WXY as explained, where you have a running flat correction here and now another zigzag up? I have to say it's definitely possible. It's definitely a possibility. There's no invalidation for this. Close anyway. So could this, you know, could this be the scenario where we're looking for the price to top out in this region, right, at 77.7 to 78.5K even, you know, in this zone basically, where we have this kind of order block, this little range right there. Could this be the rejection point? I need to acknowledge that that is definitely possible. And this is why looking for the shorts here on that SFP is kind of valid. I'm going to talk about another shorting level if this does get stopped out. Yeah, we're going to talk about another possibility, of course, to consider a short, right? Because we know the deal, right? It gets wicky, it gets difficult, it gets a little bit, you know, uptrending. When do we short? When is the chance to short? Where do we put stop loss? I have to say the first valid one was this SFP, which was an okay entry just at the beginning of the stream. You had to, you know, relatively quick. It's not worth shorting a swing failure pattern. You need to snipe the absolute highs of the rejection for the stop loss. You do not get in an SFP when you've rejected already a few $100s, right? You don't get in. You know, you get in at the exact height of the rejection. You don't get in here with this rejection. You missed it, right? You need to be quick on that one. So let's talk about where would there be another shorting option. You know, I'm more interested in shorts now. I was more interested in longs yesterday, and I'm in the long. So it's really now about hedging and understanding the possibility of forming a wave 4 here. Let's go to the 30-minute time frame, because there's a bit of an order block right there. And we just gently tapped the order block on the 30-minute. The lower part of the order block, you can see on the 30-minute, there's a little bit of a dodgy candle. And we just tapped the lower part right there with that SFP. So it is, you know, we got the value area low. It is some resistance. You know, there is some resistance being here. That's where the volume starts of this range that we had last weekend, Saturday and Sunday, little range. There's a bit of resistance. There is a bit of resistance and a little SFP, value area low. I mean, so it is valid for that sniper trade, in my opinion. Understanding that this could be the end stages, right, of a W, X, and Y zigzag here. You know, it could definitely be. So we trade possibilities. We're never certain. I'm never 100% certain. Never. I understand that some trades have a higher probability and some less. These are risky, but you know, these risky trades based on an SFP are, in my, you know, with my experience, they are the best to manage risk and get a better risk reward. So as explained at the beginning of the stream, right? You enter that trade on the SFP, you can be defensive on your trade already, and this has a chance, you know, to come down, right? If things get nasty in the next hour or two, this could be pretty awesome, right? You know, there's an awesome trade down back to 76k, sub 76k. Without a doubt, they are the best in risk to rewards, these SFPs, when you have a structure that could be in the end stages here. Maybe it doesn't happen, but what is important is preserving your capital, right? That's what is important in trading. You will realize that professional traders, right, will not have a bias all the time and just be bearish or just bearish or just bullish or just bullish. We adapt to the information and the market conditions, and we trade the information on the chart, right? So if you ask me, you know, yeah, we could be topping out in this region and coming down to 76k. That is very, very valid, and it could happen throughout the next coming hours. It is very, very valid. Now we're going to talk about the bullish case, of course. we need to talk about the bullish case. Naturally, there is a possibility to extend a bit of a range here, as explained on yesterday's video update. I don't like this too much, but having an impulse formation to the downside where you have your wave 3 finished at that low from Monday, which we have the count, right? Remember, we were discussing this as well on Monday. There's a chance for that to be finished, and now we have a wave 4 formation. Just because it's spitting out a little bit from the downtrend, so it was pretty aggressive, it's spitting out a little bit, I would already consider that this could be a wave 4. This wave 3 has finished, and in this case you have a 1 2 1 2 3. You're a bit rangy, WXY potential, and in this case, because you have a double 1 2 and you have a 3 wave potentially finish right there, what we could be looking at here throughout the next coming days is that rollover, right, in a 4-5 4-5. Just because we have 2 1 2s and we have the chance of the third wave being finished, now that we are ranging and going a little bit to the upside, then, you know, 2 more 4-5s here, which is just downtrending. We're going to get people very bearish naturally with this price action in the coming days, if that is the case. But this would be a awesome long opportunity, and we'll be ready to take that long. We'll be ready without a doubt. We know exactly what we're looking for, how to manage risk, and how to execute the trade, just like the long trade that was taken yesterday inside of the community. Still riding a significant chunk. I took this as a swing as well, pretty aggressively, understanding the scenarios, risking 1% of my swing account, and, you know, understanding the possibilities of going higher, because there is that chance of the low being in, even though the probabilities are low, I have to say. But if the chance is there, I don't mind getting stopped out at break even from this trade. I've taken some profits, over 50%. You know why? Because there will be another awesome long position to be taken for a nice bounce. There will be a chance for that, and I know the opportunity will come in the next few days. If we take out 76, even 75k to enter that long, covered profits, stop loss near break even. We were all down here. You know, I know I will get into another long, right? I will try anyway, right? I do miss some trades as well, but I will do my best. We will manage to identify that, and of course, in the trading community, that's where we do give the trade, right? We say, what is the plan, how we're going to enter, how we're managing risk, And it's nice to see some people in the comment section saying, you know, absolutely awesome, Wayne here. Awesome trade from yesterday. He did end up adding to that position and making some good profit. So no sugarcoating here. Right, let's go. People see short. I just look like a typical shorting into strength. It just looks like typical shorting into strength. Well, yeah, I'm going to explain the bullish scenario right there. This is the problem, right? When you have a punchy move and it just ends up rejecting aggressively, right? You know, it's like shorting into strength, big candle here, and then this looks like longing into strength as well. I didn't short this and I didn't long this. But this one, I would say it's valid. And the main reason why it's because of the possibility of that sideways WXY for a wave 4 here. And, you know, you got some resistance. If you're tackling resistance and you have a possible plan, you know, anything, you can get stopped out. It doesn't matter. Stop loss is part of the game. And that's what it is like that, and that's it. Well, what can we do? Don't be afraid of getting stopped out. If you're afraid of getting stopped out, it's because you're risking too much. That's it. The answer is simple. If you're scared of getting stopped, it's because you're risking too much. More than you're willing to lose, right? On a trade, you'll feel depressed. You feel bad. You might revenge trade. You'll take bad decisions. But I get the shorting into strength here. I wouldn't consider this strong, but the most bullish case scenario based on this pullback, I'm afraid about this pullback here potentially being a wave 2. And you know, I don't think that the probabilities are massive because, you know, when we link probabilities from the start of 1, 2, right? Another 1, 2 here and another 1, 2 here. And we're just building up here to just snap out here. Boom, breakout. We pump $1,000 or, you know, $2,000, whatever, in a wave 3, right? It just breaks out with high volume. This would be the most bullish scenario. Wave 1, wave 2, small little wave 1s and 2s getting developed right over here because of this pullback, just waiting for a breakout. And that's what you know, this is not strength right there. This is losing the momentum, of course, in the last few hours. But because we already got a pullback, you know, it is risky. You need to understand that this short is, you know, this is the picture that we have. Multiple 1-2s, right? Maybe a lot of people don't see this. I do see it, and I acknowledge that this could happen. So why, you know, because this could happen, I'm not going massive short. I'm not having limit shorts here because I know it's, you know, we're going to roll over because we're bearish, and the FOMC minutes is going to be bearish, and yeah, you know, it's down from here. We need to go down to 60k, right? And whatever you believe in, the markets don't care what you believe in, right? The news or the analytics or whatever. We need to go with price action and structure, and that's what's most important. And when I analyze the structure and, you know, knowing the bearish case, I need to know what's the bullish case. Because if I'm interested in shorts here, but what if I'm wrong on my shorts? Well, I need to manage risk. I need to execute, you know, with good risk management. And I need to understand, what if we break out? How can we break out? What are the options? What are the probabilities of breaking out in a wave 3? The only thing that bothers me based on a multiple 1-2 here is this wave 2 right over here hit the 0.9 Fibonacci, 0.88 basically from the low to the high. That is quite rare. I wouldn't say extremely rare, Okay, but it is quite rare to have a wave 2 retrace to the 0.88. It's too deep. Wave 2s usually retrace to the 50% to the 7/8 Fibonacci, which is basically what happened with these ones, right? When you take a look at this and this, that retraced to 50% golden pocket. This, that 50% 7/8 zone. This one right over here is a problem to give this the highest probability. So I know that, you know, looking for shorts with good risk management here is not a bad option, because I know that this scenario doesn't carry the highest probability at the moment, purely based on this wave too. I know it might sound like a lot of BS, guys, but this is how we look for the probabilities and how we execute the trades. So it is attractive, but I mean, hey, if you're in that short from that SFP just at the beginning of the stream, you got a minor loss or even break even if we do take out those highs. Anyway, let's go through the comment section. Much love. Rip or dip. Hi, Andy Legend. Meme Cat. Much love. Andy looking fresh. Yeah, I had a shave, I had a haircut. Need to look good, man. We're looking a bit scruffy the last week. When is the FOMC? It's in about 2 hours from now. And yeah, we got FOMC minutes, and it's pure speculation if it's going to be. It might be a nothing burger, guys. We might just get some local volatility, and that's it. But it might be a massive bad news or good news, and all depends really. We've got a few options here looking at the chart for the bullish scenario and the bearish one. The bearish option, we could be looking at something finishing here. You know, it could be the possibility based on what I explained on the sideways WXY. We are at a great level for FOMC minutes if we are going to get a big volatile move, because we are at a point where if we break out, right, you know, say in the FOMC minute, if we get that pump, it is likely going to be a wave 3 developed, right? Regardless, this being A, B, 1, 2, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and you form a C wave, or it's a multiple 1, 2 from the start. I would say it doesn't really matter. What we need to be ready for is the 4 5s into some resistance levels later on to consider the short. You know, I know that this zone is a little bit risky for shorts. If you get a big pump and take out this high in the coming hours, I would let it go. It's going to be difficult. You know, throughout FOMC, if we do get that pump, I understand we could be breaking in a wave 3. I'm not going to be trying to catch a short here. If we take out the highs and with volume, it's going to be difficult, regardless if it does SFP, right, again from the highs or whatever. It's not going to be my type of trade, understanding the risks of continuation up in a wave 3. But I know, you know, I'll just be ready for the exhaustion of the 4 5s at other levels of resistance. You know, this is a nice zone of SFP right there. Yeah, on Coinbase, we do have a pretty large point of control all the way up there. Not on Binance US dollar perpetual, but when you get this range on Binance, a very, very cluttered volume on this range. And that range looks interesting on Coinbase. On Coinbase, you do have a very, very strong high volume node of this range at the very, very pico top of the range, right? So it's an interesting area for the price to reject, try and attempt to break out that range point of control, maybe wick the highs. So if you were to break out here, considering that wave 4, you know, 3, 4, and 5s in this zone, right, that exhaustion in this area would be very, very interesting for the rejection. That's where I would want to consider a short if we break out from here. I'm not going to have any quick shorts if we start breaking out with volume. I need to wait for a little bit of choppiness and exhaustion. Then that would be my plan, guys. You know, I like to have a profitable trade and talk about a good trade that we mentioned in the trading community, right? I don't want to get into, oh, it's just a stop loss, let's move to the next one, right? Stop loss, oh man, we got a lot of uncertainty, right? Markets are looking very crazy, I don't know how to read them, a lot of uncertainty, whatever. That's BS. That's no experience at all on knowing how to trade. And you might get a lot of people with much more viewers and a bigger community than myself, but we provide the numbers. We provide the numbers. We provide the risk management, the trade setups, and you know, you don't build up a nice track record, which I'm happy to show, by getting stopped out with bad risk management. Let's talk about a little bit of a higher time frame, because the local time frame is very, very clear for me. If this turns out to be something impulsive, say that we do have a B and now 1 2 1 2 3 4 5 4 5, and this naturally turns into a strong ABC. If we are going to be forming an impulse here from the highs at 82.8k in a 1 2 1 2, and this looks horrendous, but I had a problem here last week figuring out if this could be a double 1 2 with all of this price action. And, you know, I can't find an impulse here. There's no impulse. There's, there's no expanding diagonal. There's no nothing. All the rules are broken here to have an impulsive move. So you have to have a small wave 1 and a WXY. You have a flat here, a zigzag down, and another zigzag up. Very, very, very nasty 1 2. But if we are going to form another 4 5, right, and move down in the next coming days, this wave 4 needs to reject in between the 0.236 and the 50% Fibonacci. I mean, 50% Fibonacci is, you know, coming all the way up at 79k. So we could even go to 79k and still have the formation of an impulse here, because all of this is your wave 3. Your invalidation is the golden pocket, right, which is almost overlapping your wave 1. That would be too steep for a wave 4. So option 1 is here as explained. You know, are we going to reject or not? Yes, here, 30-minute order block, right, value area low, SFP, sideways WXY. It has a chance. If that is not going to be the one, I like to look at the possibility here, maybe of an ABC that just extends a little bit aggressive, right? It just gets aggressive here, and you have the 1 2 1 2 3 4 5 4 5, right? And maybe that's the end of your C wave for that wave 4, which is getting to the 382, right? 50% Fibonacci. We need to look for the exhaustion of your push up here into resistance, maybe claim some liquidity from these lower highs, and yeah, we could consider a swing short here, because that could be that lower time frame wave 4. So yeah, if I'm active, if I'm around and I'm not out for dinner or something, and I'm at home and I'm paying attention to the charts this evening, I will try and do my best to provide the analysis and a setup, because I'm interested in a short, naturally. Okay, so you know, I will be paying attention tonight to see what happens, to see if I can provide a good setup for the community. Okay, inside of the Telegram. If you want to join the community, guys, that's where we provide the setup. Such as yesterday, we were ready with a plan with risk management. Not the best, greatest risk to reward, but the probabilities were looking good to get above 77.4k as a major take profit. And we can leave some open. We can leave some open now, protected for more upside. If you are interested in that, guys, send me the word access. If you're not in already, I'm not sure what you're waiting for. Rudy is here. Much love, Rudy. Rudy's awesome with charts. He's providing so many updates and analysis, not only on Bitcoin, of course, on different markets, not only altcoins, but also markets. Shout out to you, Rudy. Much love to you, my man. Hope you're doing well. Mark Dutch giving love and support. We have the CME gap fully closed. We have a CME gap fully closed would be 79.2k. Sweet vamos, much love. Access, send me access in the Telegram if you want to join. Okay, you got the link here for my personal Telegram, and we'll send you some information. Of course, if you sign up through one of the affiliate links, Bluffin, 2bit, you have many to choose here. Do a minimum deposit for your own trading. If you want to follow up my trades, Devil trades, you can do so. We will share them. You will get a few months for free. Okay, you will get a few months for free, and you can extend those months for free if you maintain active. Okay, so if you're interested in that, amazing community, only legends, says Bathmati Ayekos. Much love. Let me know if you did catch that long position. Did you manage to long and profit, Bathmati Ayekos? Just so the community can be aware of it. You know, we don't provide fake scenarios. It's very real, of course it is. Mark Dutch, much love, my man. Access, he says. Mark Dutch is in. I did. Bath Mario with much love. Absolutely awesome. Guys, there is a competition. There is a competition. It's not the world series of trading that was on Bybit. We used to do that competition quite a lot in the last few years. You got the link down below if you want to join the team, guys, for the War of Whales. Okay, join myself and Devil for the World Series of Trading. Is very similar to the Bybit one. We did actually do the Bybit one many times in the past, and we did pretty good. I have to say, there were some Koreans and Japanese that were trading insanely, like really insanely. So it is difficult to be number one or number two, but we were a lot of the times in the top 10, top 20 out of, you know, hundreds of teams. So we do pretty well, but it's very hard to be number one or number two, I have to say, in these competitions. So you can register. There's a massive prize pool. Of course, the prize pool is not only for the number one team. It does go through the top 10, top 20, you know, potentially even top 30. And a big prize pool, and depending on how you do inside of the team, you know, you'll get a nice chunk of the prize pool. If you are interested, make sure to register. You got the direct link down below. By the way, this already started yesterday, if I'm not mistaken, two days ago. Yesterday, 18. 2 days ago. So yeah. If you are interested, make sure to join myself and Devil for the competition. See if we can get a piece of the cake, guys. Much love. Rose, good evening. Chief Legend Andy and all you lovely traders. A bit late to the party, but like button smashed. You haven't missed much. Only a quick SFP that we've got at the beginning of the stream that has the potential of dropping down to 76k. You know, these are the kind of trades that you want to get in. You want to get in because they are so easy to manage and so easy to protect. And we just wicked it at beginning of the stream, basically. So, and I have to say, it has the potential of coming down to 76k. You know, it has very much the potential. We are hitting some local resistance. We do have a 30-minute order block right over here. We do have the Valley area low, which is of this mini range of last weekend. We do have an SFP. We love these SFPs, guys. They're great. They're great. We love them. Not all levels are good SFPs, but this one is. This one is okay. because we got some backed up resistance here. We're backing up some resistance. What Elliott wave scenarios do we have? You know, we count everything, not only levels. We consider the Elliott wave scenarios here, and we do have a flat wave X here in a complex range, and maybe this was the zigzag. We were trying to figure out if this was the zigzag, but maybe it finished here, your wave X, and the zigzag is right there. And now we're just going to crumble down. We trade potentials, we manage risk. We don't know. At the end of the day, this could be multiple 1-2s, and we snap out to the upside, right? Anyway, difficult long. I personally wouldn't have longed this move down. Very difficult for me to catch this movement down. Understanding the potential that this could have been the high. This is a long that I wouldn't have taken, just to be totally transparent here. We need a bit of information and range here to consider a high probability long setup, such as the one provided yesterday, and understanding that we can wick the low here and then take out the highs. But yeah, for now, shorts are looking more attractive. Difficult long, easier long in this range yesterday, but I was already in the long, so yeah, not much. You missed just a little bit of the analysis considering the bullish case and the bearish case. Rose, much love to you. Rose likes to join. She's been here for a few months now, so shout out to Rose in the community. Let's Mark Dutch with those giveaways, as always, giving the membresías sin coste. I've got it in Spanish, as you can see. Much love, Mark. Thanks for the membership gifts here. Better not trade. Why? Why better not trade? Why better not trade? We can trade. We know how to trade. We have good risk management. We teach the community how to trade. Better not trade. Roth trader, why not? Thanks so much, Mark. Mark is a legend. Roses are red. As I was saying, too late for the party and missed the cake. On to the next. Not to worry, Rose. We have many opportunities. Too choppy. Yeah, too choppy. Too choppy till it's not, right? Too choppy till it's not. Too choppy till we break down, right? This is very, very, as explained, it's a valid zone to short, right? The problem is right now that if we, nuke down, then it is hard to get into a short on the volatility. For me, it's hard. When it's choppy, it's where it's easier to execute a trade with better risk management. I have a problem getting into a trade when it's volatile. Hopefully I'm in the volatility later on already, right? I mean, that's my opinion. That's how I trade, and that's how, this is why this understanding the levels and the range, this is a valid short, because you can be very defensive. And man, if we break down now to 76k in the coming hours, you'll be happy that you took that short, right? And we explain why it has an option of being the high, right? If we are breaking out to the upside in the last few hours and it's getting volatile to the upside and the choppiness is very weak correction, it just continues pumping and no ranges, that's difficult for me to trade. I cannot trade that volatility. No ranges, no choppiness, no corrective potential structures. When you come into resistance and you having a choppy fest, that's when we can execute, understanding that this could be corrective. We get pushed down, right? I mean, I'm just explaining where it becomes easier for an execution, right? When it's a bit rangy and a bit volatile, and it's a bit choppy, sorry. And when it's volatile, it's very difficult. You know, I can't get into a trade when we get this, or when we get this, or the pump and dump. You know, I miss these moves. I don't know what to do here. I need to wait for a range, analyze all of the waves to understand the directional bias, right? So, love the community. I will never leave. So you all are stuck with me. Love the support, guidance, and learn every day. Rose, that is awesome. Awesome words from Rose here. Yeah, thanks so much. I really do appreciate those kind words, and seeing the value and seeing how, you know, trading is very much possible, right? Every person is different. Some people like it, some people don't like it. I mean, trading is not for everyone. Definitely not. It is natural to get a lot of people joining and leaving, and, you know, because you need to love it, right? You need to understand it. It's difficult to understand a lot of the times, but you get better, right? If you're dedicated, and you will get very good at trading. No, there's no doubt. If you like everything in life, right? You know, if you're dedicated and you learn and you try and break the code, and you just try, you know, there will be a moment that you understand what you need to do, what you have to do, how to read the probabilities and understand all of that, and then then the magic happens, of course. But every person is different. Baby Genius, thanks for joining the stream, my man. I'm finally live. Hope you guys are well. Hitting you shortly for the group. Divine Hood, is Divine Hood somewhere here? Oh, I missed Divine Hood. Where is he? Yeah, he's a real brother, man. Divine Hood. Oh, there he is. Divine Hood, my man. Much love, Andy and Mark Dutch. Much love. Divine Hood also has a trading channel, guys. It's Divine Hood Trading. Go and check him out. This is not his trading channel, but it's Divine Hood Trading. Also goes live and does video updates. Much respect and love to you, my man. Make sure to go and subscribe to Divine Hood. There he is, Mark Dutch. I listen every morning on a jog. I'm here in the background. Absolutely awesome. There's not much we can say about trading. We had a quick little scalp entry short here on Bitcoin, and I have to say that it's going to be difficult to long at the moment. Very, very difficult. Yesterday, longing was better to take out this high, take, you know, over 50% of the profits. And now looking for shorts, because we are downtrending at the end of the day. We are downtrending, and we could have a wave 4 here. You know, this has a very good chance of being corrective, as it has been explained. And yeah, what can I say? We got a chance today of coming down to 76. I mean, especially with FOMC minutes, we just don't know how that is going to play, right? Let's talk about the bullish invalidation. The bullish invalidation, where probabilities will increase to take out $76,000, and that would be taking out 76.5. This would be the invalidation, of course, because then you wouldn't have either multiple 1-2s. Local structure would be broken, and yeah, if you take out 76.5k, we got a big problem for the bulls here. Yeah, that would be the weak point for sure. Then if you take out this low, then there would be high probability in taking out 76k. Reason being is, if we have something bullish from this low, we would have to have 1, 2, or A, B, finished here or here, doesn't matter really. But then another wave 1 and 2, another wave 1 and 2, right? And yeah, you can take out the local low for a flat kind of movement, right? This could still be another wave 2, even though if you take out this low. The problem is if you take out this low, that's the moment that you're likely gonna, you know, take out 76k. So once that happens, you know, this is why looking for a long at the moment, understanding that this could be the high. Yeah, I would not, I don't feel confident in looking for a long at the moment. Yeah, I mean, this would have to be the zone where it needs to bounce if you want to maintain the local bullish market structure. But because we're downtrending, we got the FOMC, we have the chance of this being the high to take out this low. This can be corrective. You know, I would not want to try and long, you know, a second, third 1-2, really, to be honest, if you have a chance of this being the high. I would not, yeah, you know, there's just no long here for me to be taken. I mean, if I were to speculate that we are going to form a higher low, this is your invalidation. So if anybody would say, screw that, we ain't going to come down here, we ain't going to take out this low, we are forming multiple 1-2s, right? Either this being an A and B, and now you have 1-2, 1-2, 3, 4, 5, 4, 5, right, to form that A, B, and C. Or you have the most bullish case, which is multiple 1-2s from the start, and then it's like 3, 4, 5, 4, 5, right? And you just form an impulse. Then your invalidation is this point. There's no doubt about it. If you get down to this higher low at 76.5 and you are trying to long a pullback here right now based on bullish market local structure for multiple 1-2s, if you are going to attempt this, I mean, I'm not, because I'm already in the long and I'm in a short as well. You know, the short from the stream here at the beginning of the stream, a valid SFP, just because of the execution, the stop loss. Awesome rejection, guys, by the way. I'm in some pretty decent profits right now. Pretty decent profits. Yeah, why not take some profits, right? We're going to coming into this range, right? If you did short, holy smokes, I mean, this is already a 3-4 to 1 risk reward. If you got into that SFP just at the beginning of the stream, guys, make sure to, you know, collect some profits based on the multiple 1-2. But this is already a 3-4 to 1 risk reward, right? Collect the profits, protect position, and ride it, right? Ride a free trade. If you were to ask me about this, just collecting a bit of profits from that short, guys. We need to collect some profits. Awesome trade, by the way. Oh, just at the beginning of the stream. Who managed to get that short SFP, guys? Let me know. Did anybody get into the short SFP right there from those highs? Awesome, nice little quick scalp for the stream. Let me know in the comment section if anybody did. I would, you know, be defensive on the trade to collect some profits. And if you believe that this is bullish, which we do have an option of multiple 1-2s, even though you have the last 1-2 here or this double 1-2, the invalidation is this low. So it's not, you know, it's not worth longing here, this pullback, and dipping down and longing here as well, and longing here as well, and adding to the position. It's not worth it to have that stress of being underwater. So when you understand the structure and the invalidation and the probabilities that if you hit this low, you're likely going to hit this low over here, why would I get into a trade, say that I'm longing here, Why would I get into a trade here with like really far away liquidation price and I'm just going to add to the position, right? When I understand that if we take out this low, we're likely going to take out this low. And I don't know how we are going to break to the downside. Nobody knows. I don't know, right? Nobody knows how deep that movement down. We might go to 75 and even 74K, right? And you're going to get trapped underwater, adding to the position and having a very bad position. You know, don't do that. Why? You don't need to do that. I understand that I want to get out of the market if we take out that low. I want to get out, and then we'll analyze the market, later on tonight or tomorrow to look for another high probability opportunity. If you take out that low, the probabilities are very high in taking this low. So if you are going to attempt that this is a pullback and you want to get into a long here, the bullish market structure needs to maintain based on multiple 1-2s, which is is valid. I have to say, it's not that it's not a valid trade. It is very valid. I'm already in the long, and I'm just aware of the probabilities here. I'm not. At this point, I cannot say, oh guys, this is a high probability bounce that we get in here. For me, it's not enough for a high probability long. But I understand it can bounce, it can form a higher low here and take out the highs and break out in a wave 3. I understand that is very much an option. But I also understand that this could be a W, X and a zigzag Y here. Downtrending. We got some news in about an hour and 30 minutes. Maybe this is a wave 1, 2, we end up breaking down, right? It's just because I know that this could be the end of a correction. Do I want a long here? It's just no, I don't, right? I don't have but I have an invalidation. If you are happy to risk 1% or 0.5%, you know that you need to get out of the market as soon as you take that low. But it's better to have a high probability trade and manage risk, right? Here you're managing risk. If you take this trade, I'm risking 1% to maybe gain 1.2 or 1.5%, right? Take out this high, maybe even more, right? If it does end up breaking in a wave 3, right? Maybe even higher, 78K plus. But it's, is there extreme high probability? Is there a very, very good chance that that's going to happen? For me, there is a chance, regardless if it's, if it's high probability or not. Yeah. I understand that this could be the end. I understand we could form a higher low here. So if there is a good high probability trade, we do provide them in the trading community, such as the one yesterday. High probability trade, talking about the risk management, giving the option if we take out 76.4 and reclaim, you can add another 1-2%. Stop loss is at 76K. We almost got to stop loss, but we didn't. But yeah, the setups that are, for me, this was high probability. It did end up playing out, even though it was a little bit shaky. That will be provided inside of the trading community. If you want to join, guys, you know what to do. You can get a few months access for free, guys, if you sign up and deposit throughout one of the affiliate links, Bluffin, 2bits. You have many options down below. Weeks even is there. And just send me a DM to my Telegram if you want to join the community and join the winning team, right? The winning horse. Andy, are you trading any alts? I have to say I'm trading 0 alts. Divine Hood, I'm trading 0 alts. I'm really focusing mainly on Bitcoin for day trades and for swing trades if I can get into one. I'm giving a chance for a swing long here. I know I'm going to get stopped out at, very, very likely. But profits have been taken. So anyway, Divine Hood, I'm not trading any altcoins at all. As soon as we entered the bear market, I forgot about altcoins. I'm like, screw altcoins. I built up you know, my capital and my trading reputation purely focusing on Bitcoin. So we just, in the bear market, we only focus on Bitcoin analysis and Bitcoin trading, really. But I will get back into some altcoins, I guess. I think I would assume. I would assume so. I'm just happy just trading Bitcoin, to be honest. Really. You only need one asset that you can understand how it moves, right? To make some decent gains. You know, if I can scratch $1,000, right, today on a scalp short, and, you know, absolutely awesome. Absolutely awesome. We'll cover a little bit of let's protect that position a little bit more. And yesterday's long also paid off pretty nicely. Still in part of the swing long that was mentioned inside of the community yesterday. And the main reason I took it as a swing potential is because of the bearishness that was created in the last few days. Holy smokes, you know, the bearishness created in this zone, it was insane. So I'm like, yeah, I know the probabilities of getting a new uptrend from here are quite low. Okay, I have to say probabilities are not great. I would lean more on the probabilities to take out 76k or higher in the next coming days, instead of rallying to 82.8k, right, in the next 1 to 2 weeks. I don't think that's going to happen. Another good reason because of that is I like the idea that this is an ABC move, right, from the lows of February. I really like the idea that this is just a three-wave move to the upside that we were talking about a few weeks ago. We were really putting so much effort into this move to really understand. Guys, I really do think that we're coming to the end stages here of this price action, even looking at the 15-minute time frame, you know, talking about the latest wave. And we did actually nail this in an ending diagonal. We're like, you know, this is like the last chance to finish here at 82.6k, based on finishing a 5-wave move up here on with an ending diagonal. So I mean, based on this price action, it does look better to have this finished right there. I mean, this could be a double 1-2. Let's not, you know, it could be a double 1-2 and we snap out in a wave 3 in the next coming weeks. But this pullback is still a little bit shallow. I would consider it a little bit shallow still. But I mean, who knows, right? You know, does it have a chance of? Yeah, 382 hasn't been hit, the 382 Fibonacci. It is a little bit shallow if we wanted to start something bullish from here, right? For a 1-2, 1-2. We would need a little bit more of a range, or at least come down here to take out the lows. The 382 Fibonacci at 76k. Maybe with one more 4-5 locally here, and this ends up being a 3-wave structure. For me at the moment, to have something finished here is low probability to get bullish momentum right up. But I mean, the 382 being tapped after an impulse is high probability because it's what usually happens after an impulse. You know, it's like a minimum retracement that's hit, you know, 78% of the times, right? And of course, if out of 100 out of 100 times after a wave, an impulse, you hit the 382 78 times out of 100, that's like high probability, right? That's like, you know, most of the times you do hit it. So the fact that we haven't hit it yet, but sometimes it does not hit it, right? Sometimes I've seen second 1-2s that just retrace to the 382, and then you blast off in a third wave, and you're like, wow, you know, it was a low probability thing, but it happened. So could this be it? It can, but the probabilities suggest that this would not be the low. But because I am a day trader executor, you know, if I see the possibility of getting into a day trade long to take out the highs and maybe maintain some of that trade, I will, right? I will take it. And I will collect profits and chunk open and see if we do manage to get bullish, right? Anyway, let's go through the comment section. Mark Dutch, thanks for the awesome support here. Yes, screw altcoin, says KC1. Much love. Guys, make sure to get your votes in. Make sure to smash up the like button if you do enjoy the content, the technical analysis. We're getting a little bit of a local bounce here. Bit of a local bounce. Did suggest that if you did take that SFP from the beginning of the stream to collect some significant profits, be defensive. But I mean, yeah, this is awesome, nice little scalp short to start the stream today. We don't always get them, you know that. I usually look for get some stuff ready, but if we are hitting a level at the beginning of the stream that's an interesting level to take the trade, then collect profits, guys. You know, this is a nice 3-4 to 1 depending on your entry risk to reward. And yeah, bullish scenario has been explained. Bearish scenario has also been explained, and it's a little bit difficult. I'm already long from yesterday. I'm short from now, from today. So getting into any trades here at the moment, I'm not interested. If we turn out to have something bullish, I'll have to wait for a breakout wave 3 and then get the choppiness at zones of interest, of resistance. On Coinbase, we do have a very big point of control at 78.8k. Lower highs for liquidity grab. For the choppiness, shorts can be looking interesting here for either a B, C or a 1, 2, 1, 2, 1, 2, 3. You got 4, 5s, a little bit longer. We'll have to analyze that once we get the price action, guys. That's in the trading community, of course. But we'll get stuff ready. I don't have anything right now. Only the long from yesterday and the short from the stream at the moment. This has a possibility of multiple 1-2s or A, B, and 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 for wave C, right? Or the end of this being a corrective structure, and you know, we end up breaking down here to claim the lows in a 5-wave impulse, right? Multiple 1-2s, then 5, 3, 4, 5, right? It doesn't matter. It's all about executing the long idea and executing the short idea, right? Where to execute to potentially get the long, and where to execute to potentially ride the short down. Now, price can do whatever it wants, because I'm positioned better for the long, really. But now it can do whatever it wants, because I would make some profits anyway on the move down as well if we do get down below 76k. And you guys know that, you understand that. You guys are smart. Anyway, get your votes in here, guys. 280 votes. Post FOMC, what do we get, guys? Dump 49%. Lot of votes here for a dump on the FOMC minutes, which is in about an hour and 15 minutes from now. Pump 32%. Some people are feeling bullish for the FOMC minutes, and nothing burger, 18%. I'd love a hamburger, says Mark Dutch. Much love. Tom Crown. I love Tom Crown. Where is he? Is he in the comment section? He does bump in here a few times. But what's going on with Tom Crown? Tom Crown is awesome. Much respect to Tom Crown. He does the best FOMC and Fed press conference. He's very, very good. I'm very bad at it. I'm just pure technical. But that's where I can make money, right? You know, news and FOMC and all of that is distraction. You know, we trade the charts. We only need the price action on the chart to know where we can execute, right? And you guys know, the people in the community do know, the people that have been following for a while do know that. And if you want to go and check some news and all of that, there's other channels that do it better than me, which in this case is Tom Crown. But even Tom Crown said he forgives me for leaving him because Andy's such a nice guy. Yeah, thanks. If that did come out of his mouth, then awesome. I know he would never talk bad about me. That's why I left everyone for Andy. Beth, Maria, ¿qué pasa? Only BTC here. Yeah, that's the thing, right? Too much noise, right? I do understand that it might be more boring and it's more very technical and very hard and very, you know, too much information, too many scenarios, bullish, bearish, right? This dude only talks about the bullish multiple 1, 2, right? And breakout 3, 4, 5. Or maybe this is a sideways complex WXY and we do push down. And it's like, man, be a little bit more confident on the direction. And like, yeah, you know what? I'm short from here and I'm long from here. So it's like, you know, we need to consider both scenarios always, right? So yeah, it's just how it goes, right? This range today has been money printer. Yeah, every time Andy streams, I get a rising wedge. Every time Andy streams, I get a rising wedge. From here to here, bit of a rising wedgy structure. You could say so. You could say so. Long time since I haven't traded rising wedge or descending wedge. It's not, you know, I figured out that I couldn't make money here by trading wedges or moving averages. I ended up with a conclusion, you know, this is not the strategy, this is not the pattern that I have to follow to make money. So I figured that out on my own. So this is why we don't talk about wedges or moving averages or none of that. Mark Dutch. Up we go then. Take the high and then dump, says Mohammed. Take the local high and then dump. Yeah, it is without a doubt a possibility. The thing about, yeah, this is the problem. You know, when we were discussing today the WXY here, X and maybe Y right there, where you have a flat NW, 3 wave down in wave X, and then 3 wave up in wave Y. And now you got this mess over here. We can move X right over here, because a wave X can be a complex correction, and I haven't done the count here, but I'm sure that we can figure out that this could be a WXY on its own to this point. But we're interested in a zigzag right now for Y in the bearish case. So with the recent highs, because we got a pretty steep pullback after this rally, I need to acknowledge that maybe this is the 3-wave structure, right? And if we were to take out the highs, it's going to be a little bit difficult here for me for the short. I need to look at the pump from the low to the high to figure out where we have a 5-wave move up. Because maybe, only maybe, what if we extend the WXY, right? What if instead of this, and this is your wave A, a big fat mess here, which is classic for a wave B or a wave X. You know, they're always very, very messy. And then you get your last push up here. Boom, boom, bang, right? And maybe this is your ABC for your wave Y. It would be a little bit overextended here for a sideways WXY, to be honest. But still would be, yeah, it would be extending a little bit too much. If we get your wave W to your wave X, yeah, it would be yeah, 2 to 1. Yeah, for a sideways WXY, it would be. I mean, this is perfect where we finish, where we are at the moment, because the common target for your sideways WXY is in between the 0.618 and the 1.236, taking the wave W, which is a running flat, to the possible end of your wave X, right, which would be right over there, this pivot low here, and your common target zone is in between 0.618, which is this orange horizontal line, and the 1.236, which is right over here, which we just basically tapped at the beginning of the stream. This zone is your common target for a wave sideways WXY for your Y to finish. So it would make sense for this, for maybe the high to be in here. And you literally had the 3-wave move getting developed a little bit too quick. But overall, so is it possible that this is your wave A, all of this your wave B, and then you get a wave C here to extend your wave Y? That's already low probability, because you know this is not common for a Y wave inside of a sideways WXY. You're really going to the 1.618 2 to 1 extension of your W wave, and that is very, very rare. You know, I would be looking at something else instead of this, such as the ABC, right? And then you have a, you know, 1 2 1 2 3 4 5 4 5, and that's your A, B, and C, something like that, but not the WXY. And then obviously we would have to look for the 3 and the 4 5s into resistance and consider the short. Strong resistance that we do have, just so you know, if you're not inside of the trading community, and we are waiting for that level and giving the guidance, is 78.2k. You know, from last weekend we got a big high volume node on Coinbase, and the value area high if you wish, where it's going to be looking interesting for a liquidity grab from these highs, right? So if we end up forming a wave 3, boom bang, right, 4 5s, you know, it's, if we do get a bit of rangy structure, local double triple tops here into these lower highs, is going to be looking attractive to enter a short, just for the entry, right? Regardless if you form a higher low and then up, but it's going to be looking interesting for that execution. It's a very, very interesting area, understanding the possibilities here. A, B, 1 2 1 3 4 5, right, for that ABC would be a little bit extended. However, yeah, it would be a pretty extended C wave, but it would still be, yeah, I mean, if your B wave finished here, it's still in the target zone for a C wave. 1236 to the 1382 at 78.3.4k. We'll see how we get up there. Right? It's all about how do we get up there to consider the short, because someone, your favorite crypto, you know, trader on YouTube, will say this level is for a short because it's massive, and as soon as we get there, I'm shorting, right? It depends on how we get up there. This is why analyzing the 5-15-minute time frame is crucial in our style of trading to say if it is a valid execution zone. Because you might blast off through the level, right? And then, you know, your favorite crypto tuber is going to be like, the level didn't hold. Screw that. You need to get exhaustion. You need to see how you get into the level, right? Anyway, I'm being a little bit sarcastic here. Much respect to everybody. Rising wedge. Quality crypto. Andy, is the naked point of control? Go and smash that like button, says a trader. Let's do a like button recount. What naked point of control? Go and smash. Much love, legends. Bath Mario Ayejos, giving love always. Andy, Wayne, much love. Andy, is the naked point of control at 78 a valid short based on the current price action? 78 naked point of control. With current price action. Yeah, I mean, I would have to say. Ah, man, it's going to be difficult, but it's going to be a little bit difficult, in my opinion, for that naked point of control. Understanding the risks of multiple 1-2s here and smashing out in a wave 3, based on the WXY that was explained, if this is a flat 3-wave down and you're still going to form a pretty large zigzag here, it all depends on how we get up there. It all depends on how we get up there. How do we take this high? What's going to be the most important thing is your latest higher low from this choppiness. So if we were to move up from here as so, boom, 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 then we get a little bit of a range before hitting that point of control, and we do have a potential 5-wave move to the upside. Then it will be interesting to look for the double top locally, right? The 4-5, the last 4-5, or maybe the third 4-5, right? It can be choppy, such as here, right? But you can see once you get the big move and you understand the counts here, it starts looking interesting to look for a double, triple top, right, for that movement down. Then of course we came back up, but it doesn't matter because you are defensive, you're already protected, and you just enter another one right there, which was at the beginning of the stream, and now you're protecting that position. So if you come back up, it doesn't matter. So it depends on how we get up there. But would I consider this being the ABC? I mean, we can consider it of the WXY. Flat W, X here, complex move, and 3-wave up to finish Y. It all depends on how we get up there from the latest higher low. If we start pushing up from here, like boom, 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 right? Like massive pump, no stopping, no waves, I would not short. I would not consider any short till we get a bit of a range and a bit of, waves. The waves are the ones where we can get into some trades, right? We can understand the waves. But if it moves up and blasts off, I wouldn't consider the short. And if we can detect that 5-wave move from the higher low that is formed somewhere in the zone, and we are getting that after a big move, right? After a big move, we do get that 4-5 price action. That's where it becomes interesting to consider the reversal. And then, yeah, I would say that this would be a valid zone to consider a short, right? If we get that exhaustion after a big move here, and we can get, a 5-wave countered from the recent lows that we formed here. So, I would consider it if we get up there like that, as explained. Oh man, it's difficult. It's difficult. Andy has the best sound effect. I'm looking at 79.3 retest of previous resistance, weekly time frame. 79.3. That boom boom sound, yeah. 79.3. Yeah, I mean 79.3. What do we have? What do we have right there? Value area low of the zone. We got some major higher time frame lows. Is it? Nasdaq got an insane double bottom. Yeah, based on 79.3. I mean, it depends on how you trade, really. You know, I don't see anything extremely attractive for a short at 79.3. That's me personally anyway. Nasdaq got a beautiful bounce in the last few days, man. I need to start trading more stocks as well. Some indices, sorry. Nasdaq, S&P. Man, we claimed that low. What a beautiful, I mean, being bearish on, you know, the S&P 500 or Nasdaq is kind of suicidal, right? This has been in an insane uptrend. Of course, we've had our big corrections, but holy smokes, it's naturally better looking for longs on Nasdaq, right? Man, what a beautiful test of the lows of the 12th of May right there. This was literally yesterday, and it's already up. I mean, we don't get those percentage moves on Nasdaq such as with Bitcoin or altcoins, but a 2% move in 24 hours is pretty insane. It's a big move on Nasdaq. But yeah, guys, there's not much that I can discuss. Riding the short, riding the long, being defensive, taking profits on both sides. Yesterday, long on inside of the trading community. Today, we got a nice short SFP on stream. Take profits. We talked about the bullish case, the bearish case. If we were to move up, what we want to look for. If we do end up breaking down, I need a 5-wave impulsive move coming down to massive support. And the massive support is, you know, we talked about it the other day. I would prefer 75k low to be taken and have an attempt of faking. I mean, this is going to be dangerous, but faking below the value area high of the range since February. And it would be nice to get that anchored VWAP from 65k being hit, which is coming in, you know, exactly at that low that we do have from the end of April. And if we do move down on the lower time frames on a 5-wave move and we can detect that 5th wave, I'm looking for longs, guys. If we do get down to the 75, 76k region, I will be looking for longs, but it's going to be challenging. We're going to be patient. There's nobody more patient than me, I can tell you that. There's better analysts than me. There's no doubt about it. But being patient, I'm super patient. I have no rush. Legends, thank you very much. It's been a pleasure. Show some love and hit by hitting the like button. Guys, what's going on with the like button? Like button is not doing well. I'm going to be extremely bearish or extremely bullish and talk BS on the channel with, you know, moving averages and silly data. I might get more likes if we do that, because I know other channels do that and they get more likes. I'm not here for the likes, guys. If you want to smash it, It would be awesome. It shows me that you enjoy the content and you appreciate it. That's the thing that I have emotionally about the likes. I'm like, only 100 likes, maybe people don't like they don't like the education, they don't like the scenarios, they don't like the trading ideas. Much love. I'm here for you guys. It's not about you being here for me, which is awesome, I have to say. But I'm here for you guys. Okay, I'm here for you. What a great stream again, Andy. Thanks a lot. Rose, much love. Refresh. Refresh to see the like button. Like button, yeah. Hopefully we do get to 200 like plus. Much love. Right? And leave a comment after the stream, guys. I like it too much, says James. Sweet vamos, bro. There is 176 of them. I can see that. Yeah, it's good enough. I'm only joking, guys. Much love. Okay. Thank you very much for joining. If you want to get into the community, you know where to find us. We really do our best to provide the best education and try and read the market. And if we're wrong, we do get stopped out. But we do our best, of course, to provide the best only, right? You know where to find us, guys. Send me the word access in the Telegram and you will find out. We've got lots of great comments from a lot of people being very happy there. And hopefully it does continue like that. If I could hit the more than once for this channel, I would, says Dakbik. Much love. Thank you guys for joining. I'll see you tomorrow on YouTube. Rose, thank you very much. Beth Mario Ayekos, Mark Dutch was around. Thanks for joining. If I don't see you on YouTube, I will see you in the trading community. It's my day tomorrow, so let's look for a day trade tomorrow for sure in the trading community. Maybe tonight. Much love. Thank you, guys. See you in the next one.